Hello, folks. Welcome to another episode of Fictional Character Motivation. I'm your host, Quan, and today we'll be going over another old school killer back in the day. How to be possibly more versatile and more resilient, like Jason. Jason, full name Jason Voorhees, made a ending appearance on the first Friday the 13th, which that came out in 1980. But after that, it was pretty much he just took the role, took the helm of the taking out the people who are around the campsite and other areas, starting with Friday the 13th Part 2, then Part 3, and spawned a number of sequels and maybe one or two remakes and one clash that kind of everybody remembers. Freddy versus Jason, which I will say it's quite entertaining. That's probably one of the first few times that they actually took things and combined them, and the storyline and stuff actually went pretty well. So I like that. That was pretty good mashup. Anyway, horror movie a fan gushing over right here. But getting back to it, Jason is a strong guy, probably at 6 foot. He's not like crazy tall, but he's tall. But he's insanely strong. He's stocky, and he wears an old school hockey mask for the face, coveralls, synchronicity wear, and favorite weapon of choice is a machete, but he has used multiple things on the whim, and not only just on the whim, but have pretty much kept using them. The list goes from a knife, axes, poles, spears, folding people in half with his like crazy strength, scooping people up in sleeping bags and then slamming them like crazy ragdolls. And the list goes on and on. Basically, whatever he can pick up, he already has a intelligent way of how to use it. Which, of course, with the last with the last guy that we talked about, Michael Myers, he does have some versatility also, but he tends to stick more with his knife than most people. Like, he can get creative, and he has insane amounts of strength, but most of the time his go-to is his knife or his strength, one of the two. Well, with Jason, it seems like he just uses whatever he can grab a hold of most of the time. And on top of that, he takes a beating. He's just like Mike Myers, only a little bit more. He's been shot. He's been stabbed. He's been hit with heavy objects, cars, bowling balls, just a whole bunch of stuff, and still comes at you like the. No, he's even been electrocuted, and still comes at you like the Terminator. The things that pretty much stick out with him, especially throughout most of his movies, because he always keeps coming back, even though crazy amounts of pain or things that he's went through. He's even pretty much been, kicked out of space and landed back into Camp Crystal Lake, which that part's cheesy. I think I remember that movie. It was Jason X or something like that. But it just goes to show how much he can go through. And the things that pick out more from Jason than the typical killer vibe is that he's very resilient, and he has knowledge of different weapons, different weaponry, whether it be himself or other things nearby. So how can we take that and apply that? Well, first off, with the versatility part, you have to learn everything about your craft. I think that just like Jason, if your mission is to take out people, which I hope it's not, but if it is, I think you should be well versed in any weapons and all weapons and any combat and every form of combat. Now, going into pretty much life, um, going into pretty much your job, we'll say, pretty much we'll say for me, my job is pretty much I watch over kids and I teach kids and adults martial arts. Okay, so to know everything about my craft, I have to know how to teach. I have to know how to get people's attention. I need to know how to keep people's attention. I need to know how to make the lesson fun, to make the lesson interesting, to make it to where I can break it down to where everybody understands what I'm talking about, to be able to transfer my knowledge to them almost as much as sending an email to a friend. I have to be able to know most of that. And I have to know that I have to know that a lot more, not just for them, but just for me, which means I have to dig deep in myself and figure out what other things I need to improve upon, what other things I need to keep improving in that direction, and what I need to probably discard or completely not worry about at all. To know the craft of like teaching in general is gives me pretty much the ability that I can go into a room and have the attention of 50 kids and be able to have that, which I've done it before. It is a challenging task, but I've done it. I actually had that experience happen almost a month ago. Very interesting experience. I, I I mean it's not something I'll recommend unless it's like part of what you're going for. But try to manage 50 kids all focused on playing the game, while at the same time helping out the kids who get hurt, who call somebody else someone names, to where there's like certain chaotic elements to where one half you have to make sure everybody's okay, and the other half you have to calm everybody down so you can move on to the next thing. But that's on my part. So, versatility, know everything, learn everything, and be everything in your craft. I pretty much I pretty much made an example for me with me in it as that one. And the number two thing that I take is pretty much how to be more resilient is you are going to get hit. Bad stuff is going to happen. Don't let it stop you on your goals or toward life. Just like Jason, he's went through every single kind of pain, including I guess one of his main fears as a continual pain, which is him fear of drowning again, which I find interesting since he emerges from the water. But I guess that's just him going like, I'm not getting into that water again. And then it happens, so it happens. But know that bad things are going to happen. I mean, I'm not saying like completely be on the worry train or be on the worry rocking chair that, oh my God, bad things are going to happen and I should just worry about them. No, 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 no. Have them set in your mind that bad things are going to happen. Some things that you can predict, and maybe one or two things that you may not be able to predict. And the fact is, when those bad things happen, you should not let those things stop you from what you're going for. You're going to get hit. Bad things are going to happen. It happens to all of us. If you need to sit down, sit down. If you need to sulk, sulk. If you need to cry, cry. If you need to unleash anger on an inanimate object or go for a run, by all means do that. But know that it will happen again. And you need to pretty much do that process of unleashing it so you can focus your mind back to where back to what you need to be doing. And it's good to always keep that in mind. Because, especially in this day and age, 2020, there are some things that we probably did not expect to happen, and they did. But that doesn't mean we should stop living our lives. That doesn't mean we should stop planning for the future. That doesn't mean we should stay in doom and gloom. We have goals that we're trying to go for. We have missions that we're trying to accomplish. We have a life to live. And even though the world is a little bit more dangerous, that just means that you have to mentally and maybe physically prepare for those events. You have to pretty much look ahead and be like, okay, this is happening and this is happening. That means I must find a better path to work, or I must learn some things in order to protect me and the people and things that I care about. If this is the case, that means I might need to learn some extra information on finances. I mean, whatever it is, you have to learn it and you have to pretty much own it. Because you cannot let some bad things just stop you. You can sit out for a little bit, but know that this will not be the last time something bad happens. I wish I could say that both expected and unexpected bad things will only happen during said thing, or can only happen, every year or two. But I really can't, because one, I don't know how your life is. I don't know how my life is. I don't know how life in general, how the world in general is going to go. I mean, bad things can happen every day. But we must adapt to them. We must prepare for them. We must be aware of them. And we must not let them slow us down. Like I said, if it's bad enough to where you have to take a seat, you have to sulk, you have to cry, you have to express some kind of emotion and vent it out, by all means do that. I encourage it even. But know that you have to get back up and keep going, because this won't be the last time this may happen. I wish it was. I wish that was the last bad thing you could go through. I really do. But it's not. But that doesn't mean you completely deserve it. And that doesn't mean you still can't stand up, prepare for the next thing, and go for your goals and crush it. I hope these things helps out. So remember, with versatility, whatever your craft is or whatever your craft you're going into, learn everything about that craft. Don't just learn about possibly teaching kids. Learn about how teaching adults. Learn how to capture their attention. Always be learning something that makes you better at that thing, at that subject. And you are going to get hit. Bad stuff is going to happen. But don't let that stop you from going for your goals in life. Because you still have a life to live. There's still good things you can still accomplish. There's still good things you can experience. And you look forward to those. I hope those two things kind of helped out. If they did, please let me know. Remember, I have a YouTube channel called Mind of Quan. MindofQuan. And you can pretty much look up this episode. Be resilient and versatile like Jason. Fictional character motivation, or FCM. Look at pretty much this episode. Leave a comment if it landed for you. Same with the rest of the other episodes. If any of the other episodes kind of landed for you, kind of hit for you, leave a comment. Let me know. I hope you have an awesome day. Deuces.